Well, first of all, I want to welcome everyone here today. It's kind of amazing that Governor Andy Beshear is now governor, and we certainly respect the time, and he wasn't able to make it, but he sent the A-team to take over. And all of you are aware that Lieutenant Governor Coleman is an educator. If you misbehave, we have a timeout room across the hall. I always told the previous Governor Beshear, Steve Beshear, that he was always welcome in Daviess County as long as he brought one of those big checks. Lieutenant Governor, the same goes to you, or for you, okay? And you know how important it is to have Lieutenant Governor here today, because you guys know me. How often do you see me put a jacket on? So, we have a lot of folks here this morning. I wanted to recognize my county commissioners who are here. George Wathen had to leave. He had a previous engagement. Charlie Caslin is here, and Mike Koger. Thank you guys for being here. Unfortunately, Lieutenant Governor, when we rescheduled, somebody forgot to tell them that today was the day, and I think they blame it on me. So I'm not too worried about Charlie, but Mike's a lot bigger than I am. We're going to get started because one of the important things is that they have bought checks. They bought money as part of Senate Bill 36, the Cleaner Water Program. The Lieutenant Governor, Governor Beshear, everyone in Frankfort, I think, and everyone certainly in this room recognize the importance of good, clean, potable water. And it's not just potable water and sufficient amounts of it, it's also being able to dispose of the waste that are associated with water. And I really am proud, and I'm going to say this for the first time, I'm really proud of all those agencies that met for a month, over a month's period last June, to discuss and come to a consensus as to how we would spend the $3.7 million that was designated for Daviess County. No fighting, no arguments. We worked it out, we talked it out, and we have since then anxiously awaited, haven't we, Blake, for the cash to come so we could get started. As well, I think there's another check that you are bringing for Oasis. It's $1 million. It's a much needed infusion of cash into that agency that does such a wonderful job for those people who need our help in this community. And I don't know what I would do because I'm not any good at that thing, but Oasis is excellent at the job that they do. So without any further ado, I'm going to ask the Lieutenant Governor to come up, make a few remarks, bring the checks while you come. And after that, then I'm going to invite Mayor Mayfield from Whitesville to come up, Mayor Watson from the city of Owensboro will come up, and then several other folks from the various agencies will come up and talk to us just a little bit. So after the Lieutenant Governor gets done and she gives me the money, don't leave, stay. Lieutenant Governor.
Oh, thank you. Listen, jacket or no jacket, that's a tough act to follow. But it's great to be here this morning with you all. Thank you so much. It's just so nice to be out and with folks, and especially when you get to bring good news and good news that has dollar signs. I know that's always appreciated. So we are here to announce today 6 major projects that are the result of Governor Beshear's Cleaner Water Program. And the Community Development Block Grant funding. And in total today, we are here to celebrate an investment of over $4.7 million right here in this community. And this celebration is possible, and the work that's going to come after this and the resources that are going to be available after this are because it takes a village. And this was a bipartisan effort between the legislature and the governor's office to make $250 million available across the state of Kentucky for cleaner water projects. And so it's an honor to be able to provide clean water, but it's possible because both sides of the aisle, both branches of government, of the two lawmaking branches of government came together in order to be able to make this happen. And so we owe everyone involved a thank you. Now, I don't have to tell you all this, but Kentucky's aging infrastructure cannot support the jobs of the future. And so when we invest in high-speed internet and clean water and roads and bridges, what we're doing is we are building the foundation for tomorrow's economy today. And that is not just an investment today, that is an investment that's long-term and for generations. These systems make such a difference for economic development because it helps businesses to decide where they're going to locate or relocate or expand. But even more than that, it makes such a huge difference for families. And this is probably something that many of us take for granted. But when I got to look in the eyes of a family in Breathitt County a few days ago who were going to get water to their farm, clean water to their farm for the first time ever, it was moving. And it made me realize exactly how important this is and how many people it touches. And so we know that those quality water and sewer systems make a huge difference, obviously, for economic development. But clean drinking water, we believe, the governor and I believe, is a basic human right. And it is a top priority in this administration. Another top priority in this administration is creating jobs across the state of Kentucky. So with this funding also comes 3,800 new jobs across the state of Kentucky. So we truly are lifting everybody up. So, like I said, we're here today to celebrate, but I want to make sure that we acknowledge that this is all possible. Yes, the funding was made available, but the work was done right here in this community by the folks in this room and probably many others who were not able to be here today. But it's because the funds were available, communities came together and decided how to prioritize these projects, what needed to be done first, and how much funding to request for it. And the work was done by folks coming together here at the local level and taking the ball in their own hands and deciding how this money would be best spent, and that's how it's going to be spent. And again, this is another example of a great partnership between state and local government as well. I want to give a very special recognition to Blake Edge and Chayton Panley with the Green River Area Development District for your dedication to these projects and to your community. So let's give them a round of applause. Now let's get to handing out some big checks. How about that? All right. And so what I would say is I've got several here. If you were involved in the development of these projects, please come up and take a picture with us. And I think you're going to have them say a few words afterwards. People tend to get shy in these situations, but please don't be shy. You all did the work. Come up here and accept the recognition. So first up,
Lieutenant Governor, they're shy like me.
If they're shy like you, then we're good. We're good. Okay. All right. So first of all, we have the Daviess County Water District. It will use $2.1 million to update water lines and pump stations and install new meters. Y'all take this with you. I can't take it back with me. Thank you. Thank you. All right, next up, we have an award for the Daviess County Fiscal Court. It will use $847,000 $596 to replace water lines on Jack Hinton Road.
That's the east step. This is, it says Daviess County Fiscal Court, but this is the East Daviess County Water Association.
Yes.
That's where the money will be going.
Come on in. Good. How are you doing? Did you switch sides on me? Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. All right, we have an award for Owensboro Municipal Utilities. It will use $297,000 to replace water main on Cedar Street, Stonewall Court, Jeff Place, and Burkhead Avenue. All right, next up, we have an award for the City of Whitesville. It will use $198,679 to improve water quality for 19 households along Ward Road. Thank you. I'm going to take that with you. I can't keep it.
We wouldn't let you out.
All right, next we have an award for the Regional Water Resource Agency. It will use $269,823 for upgrades at the Williamsburg Square Pump Station.
No, I'm not, I don't want a picture taken.
All right, there you go. Thank you. And finally, I know this is an issue that is near and dear to the governor's heart because this is a work he was very passionate about as Attorney General, and certainly as a mother, as a woman, as a teacher who worked with kids in families that needed support, and as a mother. I can certainly appreciate this passion and the investment that we're about to announce here today because this is a very big deal. I already see the smiles over here. Finally, we have an award for the Daviess County Fiscal Court, and this funding is coming through a community development block grant. It will use $1 million towards the purchase of a new facility for the Oasis Domestic Violence Program. I look forward to coming back and seeing the facility once this investment is made. I can't wait. But I just want to wrap up my portion today before we hear from all of you, and I'm really excited to hear all the great work that you're going to do with these investments here in this community. But many of you have probably heard about the great economic development progress that we've made in the last year in Kentucky. It's remarkable when you think about Lord, I hope we're coming out of this pandemic. We're kind of coming out of this pandemic. Amen. And yet you look back and realize that we broke every single economic development record on the books last year. Governor Beshear, with his diligence, worked to land the largest economic development announcement in Kentucky's history with Ford and a $6 billion investment that's going to create about 5,000 new jobs in a tiny little town called Glendale. And yeah. We were able to land over $11 billion worth of economic development announcements in Kentucky in 1 year that's going to create over 18,000 jobs across the state of Kentucky. And we're doing it at the same time that we have a record rainy day fund here in Kentucky. So this is our unique opportunity, folks, to be fiscally responsible, but also to make sure that we invest in our people. And when I say our people, I mean our people all across Kentucky, because I know I'm here as Lieutenant Governor today, but I am from a town called Bergen. Most of you probably never heard of it. It's got 1,000 people and a 4-way stop. And I lived in Mercer County right there until I became Lieutenant Governor. And I share that with you so that you know that I know what it feels like when you see progress being made all around you and you wonder, when is it going to come to rural Kentucky? When are people going to remember us? And it's with that that acknowledgement and that perspective and that feeling that I have that Governor Beshear and I are committed to making sure that every community across the state of Kentucky is lifted up and that we move everyone forward together, because as our small communities go, Kentucky goes. And so when we talk about investing in infrastructure, and these are immediate investments, but they are long-term. This is about building a better community. This is about economic development. It's about helping families that need it. And this is the first step towards being able to build a stronger community, a stronger workforce, and then to lift up economic development in every community across Kentucky. And so, our charge now is, after these last 2 years of progress, to turn it into 20 years of prosperity. And you guys are playing a huge role in that with the investments that you have prioritized here in this community and that you are going to move forward with. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm excited for you, and I'm just honored to be able to be here and celebrate the work that you did to be able to make this happen. So thank you so much for having me. I'm going to turn it back over, and you guys can come up and as you're called. And thank you so much.
Okay, folks, before the Lieutenant Governor came in, I told you to hold your breath in honor of COVID. We didn't want to spread it. You can take a breath now. Just let it out slowly, and then you can take a breath. Lieutenant Governor, what you said is absolutely true. Being in the plumbing, heating, cooling profession in my real life, potable water is absolutely a human necessity and a human right as defined by the International Mechanical Code, the Kentucky State Plumbing Code. And it really, I know that Daviess County Fiscal Court had a program back 8 years ago where we used co-severance funds to take potable water out into the county to those folks who didn't have it. And the water districts participated in it, and it made all the difference in the world. I think what you're going to hear from these folks as they come up will be a real testament to their desire to do the job that they've been appointed to do in our community. And really, it's a job that takes not into account the color of their skin. It doesn't take into account whether or not they're Republican or Democrat, whether they're rich or poor. They have a single task to do, and that's the job that they have all done, and done it very well. So the first person I'm going to call up is Mayor Patsy Mayfield from the city of Whitesville. While Mayor Mayfield, come on, while you're coming up, I never shut up. So I did, Blake, you and Shelton stand up. Nobody knows who you are, so stand up. Go on. And everybody that knows me knows I always have an ulterior motive. These are the people that you beat up if things don't go right. They actually inherited, this was passed down midstream, I think. Guys, how many times did I call you? 7. And I really think, and I'm going to brag on all these folks, I think we were one of the first counties to complete the task that was given to us by Senate Bill 36 and by DLG, and got that information. And a lot of other people, they argued and they fought, and they came in over budget, over the monies that they were supposed to. We did not. And did we leave any money on the table? We better not have, right? Better not have. So, my good friend, Mayor Patsy Mayfield from the city of Whitesville. Mayor, you want to talk a little bit about your project?
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'm City of Whitesville. Want to thank the Governor Andy Beshear and Lieutenant Governor Coleman for the funds for the Ward Road Water Project. We are very thankful and appreciative for the funds, and I want to say thank you again.
Mayor, I love your toenails. The next person I'm going to introduce is my good friend Tom Watson, Mayor of the City of Owensboro. And Mayor, you can do whatever you want. You might even want to have OMU come up and tell a little bit about what they're going to do.
So you're saying I don't have any idea?
Yes.
I think the best takeaway I got today was if you talk about clean water and you bring a check, you get everybody on the same page. So that's a simple thing for maybe the other side of Elizabethtown. You know, they may ought to think about that. But on behalf of the City Commission and all our residents and the great job that, and Tim, come up and you can tell about the project. And Joe, if you hadn't already gone to clean out another sewer, you can come up. But it's you know, this is what we're all about. We're trying to do all this stuff, you know, and put all the other noise aside and be sure that we do the best we can for our community. And we're very grateful to have you in our community again. You know how to get here now. This is the second time I've seen you, so don't be a stranger. I'm not real sure where Mercer County is, though. You'll have to tell me. Okay, one four-way stop. I got you. Okay. But it is great that we can come together as a community and do things like this. So, Joe, if you want, you and Timmy Lyons, the OMU guy, engineer, but don't hold that against him. And he can tell about the project, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Thank you. On behalf of OMU, our commission, and our customer owners, I want to take this opportunity to thank the Governor's Office, State of Kentucky, and Daviess County Fiscal Court for their support in these projects. These projects are going to go a long way with increasing our fire protection, increasing our system reliability, and furthering our safe water. And we really appreciate these grants, and we're very thankful for you, so thank you.
The next person that we have coming up is Billy Higdon. I think I'm going to make the engineer wait. But I started to say, I think what I will do is change that around and let my engineer friend, Joe Shepherd, talk to us about what they're going to do with their check.
Thank you.
Okay, was that recorded? Did he call me friend? Yeah. And I'd like to thank Lieutenant Governor for coming in and taking her time to come present us with this money. The project that we're doing, Williamsburg Square, the money will allow us to take about 15 million gallons out of the combined system. So that means 15 million gallons of sanitary sewer that no longer is going to go into the combined and overflow into the ditches in the Ohio River. So that's a large deal for us. The other thing this project allows, it does allow us to do future expansion to where it sets us up, and it's the first step in multiple steps to take more out in the future. So this one does take bacteria out of the ditches and the Ohio River. So it is a big deal for the entire community, and I do thank you for it.
Billy Higdon. Billy has got a real story to tell, and one of the issues that this this money's gonna do, and I don't know that he'll get to it, but Billy, what, 2013? Come on up. 2013, we had a really bad drought, and Billy and I sat in my office and talked about, were we gonna turn the water off to the citizens, or were we gonna turn the water off to the farmers? And hopefully we don't have to make that choice anymore.
Yes, thanks first to the governor's office for the revenue funding. Yes, we've got 5 projects. Probably some of the most important would be the trunk line down 54, which is probably the growing the most of any corridor. So we'd like to improve that. Then the part of the funding goes to the betterment for the widening of Highway 54. We've got some booster station work to upsize pumps to meet future demand. And we've got a leak detection program on the west end. Hopefully we can reduce the leak detection by the metering and save, well, hopefully hundreds of thousands of dollars. So for the most part, we've continued to have like a 20-year development plan, and this money just expedites that plan. So thanks again.
Jordan Rowe, what are you doing back there? Raise your hand so they'll know who to blame that on. I don't see the Daviess County East Water Association. Does any of you guys want to come up and say anything? Come on. Get up here. You got to do this. I'm not a big public speaker. I'm a little old feller, but.
Again, Ms. Coleman, thank you. We appreciate it. Judge, we got off on a rough because I was out of the email and y'all had the meeting before I was able to attend, but I thank you for considering us. This is going to be a fire protection line on Jacqueline Road. It's going to be a big thing because that area is way overgrown, and now we got the ability to take care of it. So thank you.
When you didn't show up for that first meeting, you're lucky we gave you any money. Last, but certainly not least, come on, Oasis, tell us. Tell us what this means to you and what this means to our community.
Thank you so much. Oh, where to start? A little over 6 months ago, Oasis was notified that we were going to have less than a year to vacate our home of 26 years. And so not only was that unnerving and unsettling, trying to navigate that process during a pandemic was a little terrifying. But with the help of the governor's office, Department of Local Government, GRAD, Fiscal Court, and other community leaders, we're going to be able to be the first domestic violence service provider in the state of Kentucky to offer non-congregate shelter to survivors. It's very emotional because our survivors are trying to rebuild their lives. And so not only will we continue to be able to offer them the safety and support they need, but they'll be able to do it in their own space. And it's a big deal, so thank you.
For me, it's great news, and I'm sure for the mayor, that a long and storied tradition in this community will be able to continue to provide shelter for these folks and for their kids in particular. So I guess we have one more. I have the Owensboro Health sitting out there, their CEO, Mark Marsh, whom I love to wrestle with. Who's going to make this presentation, Mark? Okay. And I have told Mark if this check isn't large enough, he's going to have to take it back and write it again.
Good morning. So thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you for these 6 great grants. And we truly know they're going to make a huge difference in our community. So thank you for that. And by the way, I do know where Mercer County and Harrodsburg is. And so played a little football in my days and had a running back from Harrisburg, Kentucky. So, but thank you. I want to introduce real quick a couple of our great team leaders here, and they're back in the back of our 5,000 employees with Owensboro Health. So I believe we're the largest employer west of Louisville, Kentucky. But along with that, I have my board chair here, Gavin Roberts. Everybody probably knows Gavin here in the community, but again, just thank you for what you do. So as Judge said, I know he was going back to look at how many zeros and commas we have. So ours is a little bit smaller, but we all know just a little over 2 months ago, many of our communities in Western Kentucky were impacted by the tornado, by which we had 20 individuals on our team that were truly impacted directly by that. And so our team came together very quickly to try to find ways to give back. One of our strategic pillars is partnering with our communities. And this is just a small gesture, but today I'd like to give back to the, let me make sure I get the name right, Team Western Kentucky Tornado Relief Fund in the amount of $40,000. So thank you for everything you do.
I've never gotten a check before. All right, thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. I think this check has a double meaning, and I think back through the last couple years and what everybody's been through, but certainly what our hospitals and our healthcare heroes have done for every community across Kentucky. And I know the governor talks about it so often, and we can't say it enough how much we appreciate what you do on a normal day, let alone during what we've all been through with the pandemic in the last 2 years. And so to see that you have had so many challenges and struggles and still find a way to bring people together to give back to others who are struggling is, I don't even know that I have the words. I just can't thank you enough for caring for your community, but also caring for the community of Kentucky, because I can tell you I've been out to these areas, and it's hard to do it justice with words if you've seen it. But I can tell you that when we put this $40,000 into the fund, it's going to go to the families who need it the most. And the governor is going to, I know, be so grateful, and I am so grateful. Thank you so much for this. This is amazing.
And I think it's particularly appropriate. That's where Governor Beshear's family comes from. So, Lieutenant Governor, if you don't have any more checks for us, we probably are going to end these festivities. We want to be respectful of your time. But I just want to leave everyone in this room with one thought. As my good friend Dr. Neal, who's sitting in the back and has recently moved back to the city of Owensboro, and I were talking, when we have good ideas, it doesn't matter whose idea it is, it's a good idea. And all of us need to get behind those ideas. We used to do that. We used to do that a lot. We don't do it so much anymore. And I hope, well, at my age, I won't live to see it probably, but I hope at some point we end up going back to that place, because I think that's what the greatness of America is all about, that we all get together and we all come up with good ideas and we all work for the benefit and common good of our people. And with that little school lesson that I gave, thank you folks for coming, and I'm sure the Lieutenant Governor will be around for a few minutes if you want to come up and talk with her.